Did you know that you can use MongoDB in the cloud completely free of charge? In fact, creating your own cluster takes just a few minutes, and you don't need any deep knowledge of system administration. In this video, I'll show you step by step how to do it in just a few minutes. Hi, I'm Nick, and I've been developing software for over 15 years. On this channel, I share my experience, insights, and thoughts about IT. So, MongoDB. There are several ways to install and use it. First, you can install it locally on your computer. That's convenient during development. There's no network latency and everything runs very fast. Second, you can install MongoDB on your own server or multiple servers, creating a cluster. This option is suitable for production, but in this case, you'll either need a system administrator who knows all the nuances of setup and maintenance, or you'll have to dive deep into it yourself. And third, you can use cloud-based solutions where everything is already installed, configured, and maintained for you. All you have to do is use the database. This is the most convenient option, but also the most expensive of the three. However, today I'll show you how to use MongoDB in the cloud completely free of charge. There are, of course, some limitations, but it's more than enough to get started. One of the major companies providing cloud access to MongoDB is MongoDB Incorporation itself, the very company that develops the database. Their service is called MongoDB Atlas. It's a paid service, but it also includes a free tier, which, as the creators promise, will remain free forever. So let's go to the pricing section, find the free tier, and click the Explore Atlas button. A pop-up window will appear. You don't need to change anything there, as it doesn't affect anything at this stage. Just click Create Free Cluster. Next, fill out the sign-up form. It's quite simple, just a few fields. After that, you'll need to confirm your email address. You can also enable two-factor authentication right away. Since this is just a demo account, I won't do that now, but you can always set it up later if needed. Alright, the account is created. Now let's create our database. However, as you may have noticed, the interface suggests creating a cluster, not a database. To avoid confusion later on, I'll pause here and explain the difference. This will be useful for your future work. A cluster in Atlas is the infrastructure layer that includes everything needed for your databases to run. The databases themselves reside inside the cluster. To make it clearer, you can think of the following hierarchy: project, cluster, database, collection, document. In other words, a cluster is a group of servers that provides resources and ensures fault tolerance. A database is a logical grouping of collections that exists within a cluster, and a single cluster can contain multiple databases. The use of the term cluster emphasizes that you're managing a distributed system with built-in scalability and high availability, rather than just a single database instance. Alright, let's create a cluster. Choose the template called Free, then select your cloud provider. You can also change the region and assign a tag to your cluster. Now click Create Deployment. Here we're greeted by a CAPTCHA, most likely added to prevent automatic registrations for free clusters. And finally, the cluster creation process begins. Next, a pop-up appears with the security setup for connecting to your cluster. Make sure to remember the username and password shown here. You'll need them to access your database. By the way, there's another important detail. By default, access to the cluster is restricted to your current IP address. This means that even if someone knows your username and password, they won't be able to connect from another IP. However, you can change this behavior later in the settings if needed. And don't forget to add this user to the system by clicking Create Database User. After that, you'll be prompted to choose a connection method. But that's just reference information, not a configuration step. You don't need it right now, so I'll just close this window. At this point, the cluster is essentially ready. However, for convenience, MongoDB Atlas also adds a sample dataset to help you explore the platform's features. This process might take a while, but once it's done, you'll immediately see how everything works and can start experimenting. Alright, let's wait a bit. Okay, all the sample data has finally been added. You can view and edit it directly in the web interface. Let's open a few collections and make sure everything looks good. Yes, the data is there. You can either continue using this dataset if you're just exploring MongoDB's features for now, or delete everything and start adding your own data. Now, an important point. As I mentioned earlier, this free cluster comes with both advantages and limitations. Let's briefly go over them. Advantages. First and foremost, it's completely free. You can use this MongoDB cluster with no financial commitment and without entering any credit card information. Another big plus is the speed of cluster creation. As you saw, it only took me a few minutes, which is impressive, especially compared to setting up a similar cluster manually on your own servers. You also get all the benefits of a cloud service, easy setup, monitoring, and built-in security features like authentication and encryption. And another advantage is the seamless upgrade path. You can move to a paid plan as your application grows, and it only takes a few clicks. Now the downsides. First, limited performance. Since the free cluster uses shared and low-power resources, performance can be quite low, especially under heavy load or when running complex queries. Second, there's no backup functionality. The lack of automatic snapshots and continuous backups makes this plan unsuitable for any project where data loss would be critical. Third, limited fault tolerance. The cluster consists of a single node, which means there's no automatic failover. If something happens to that node, your cluster becomes unavailable. And another limitation is the maximum storage size. Only 512 megabytes, which is very small for most real-world applications. Because of all these limitations, this free cluster is not suitable for production use. You'll quickly hit its limits. However, it's perfect for learning, experimenting, prototyping, and building MVP. One possible strategy for using the free MongoDB cluster is to start with it at the prototyping stage. Throughout development, you won't have to pay anything for your cloud database. Then, right before deploying to production, you can upgrade to a paid plan, even keeping all your existing data and configurations. This strategy won't work in every case, but in many situations it can be quite useful. So the cluster is created and everything seems to be working, but I want to run one more check to make sure everything is fully ready for working with MongoDB in the cloud. To do that, I'll try connecting to the newly created cluster from my application and reading a few documents. For this, I go to the Connect tab of my cluster, then choose the method I want to use to connect. In my case, it's a JavaScript application, and copy the ready-to-use connection URL. I just need to insert the password, and it's good to go. Okay, I wrote a simple application that connects to the MongoDB cluster, retrieves the list of collections in the database, and then prints their names to the console. Let's run it and see if everything works and whether I can successfully connect to the cluster. Perfect, everything works. As you can see, the console displays the names of the collections from the cluster. Let's double check that they match what we see in the web interface. Yes, they're the same, only in a different order, which makes sense since we're not sorting them in any way. Well, that's it. Today I've shown you how to get a free MongoDB cluster in the cloud and start using it right away. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Here I regularly share my experience, insights and thoughts about IT here. See you soon. Take care.